Hey everyone, welcome to brand spanking new episode of As the World Churns. I'm Andy Levy. I'm here as always with Danielle Moodie. And today we're going to talk about tacos.
They're delicious.
They are delicious. And in particular, a lot of people seem to like chicken tacos. And we've now got a new thing that's going around Wall Street where taco is being used as an acronym for Trump always chickens out. And apparently, this is being used every time Trump announces some new outlandish tariffs, like 100% on China or whatever, and then he backs off. So these have been called taco trades. It's because the people on Wall Street are like, they expect it. They know that every time he announces these huge tariffs, that he's going to back off. So they adjust their trading accordingly. You might be shocked to learn that Donald Trump is not a fan of this name, these taco trades, and that he is not, the most secure person in the world and does not like to be told that he is chickening out. So he kind of lashed out at a reporter who brought it up, saying, "Oh, I chicken out? Isn't that nice? I've never heard that. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country that people didn't think it was going to survive. And you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation." Putting aside the fact that I don't really know what he's talking about, but then again, I never do these days, about the fact that people didn't think this country was going to survive 6 months ago. I would wager that more people think that now. Danielle, are you a fan of Wall Street coining these terms, or do
I
you
love
think it's
chicken tacos.
okay? Go ahead. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I look, we are living in the stupidest times, so it just makes sense that this would be the acronym that folks would come out with. But I mean, the reality is he does chicken out every single time. So over the past 4.5 months of this administration, we have lived through over 200% tariffs for China, and then oops, not so much. We have lived through we're going to tax steel and we're going to tax, a wood, and we're going to do this, that, and the other thing to Canada, to then being like, whoops, wait, we get a lot of our energy from them. Donald Trump is not a good businessman. It's the reason why he's filed for bankruptcy multiple times over his long 79-year-old life. It's not called negotiation. It's actually called market manipulation. And I feel like we don't use language in the way that we should. So while, yeah, sure, he is chickening out because no one is coming to the table to make a deal with him, instead, they're figuring out how to deal without America. Right? Like how to maneuver with each other and build trade relations that don't rely on America being the middleman, because now we're an unreliable country. We're not a sound investment. You're seeing that from the bond markets to the rollback of tariffs to the announcement of new tariffs. It all depends on Donald Trump's fucking mood. So, the fact that he would lash out to a reporter and say that's not a very nice question, it's like, dude, but the reality is 5 minutes ago, you said that we were going to have 200% increases and that you were playing a game of literal chicken with China, who never blinks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, China is not the country to pick a fight with. Right? They have a billion, billions of people that live inside of that country who they can just rely on themselves and other countries. They don't need America in the same way that America needs China. And so, Donald Trump has just continued to show himself to be a used car salesman, right? Like he's or what is a better analogy? Like the Wizard of Oz, right? He gives you this idea that he's this big, powerful businessman. Look at my art of the deal, and then you pull back the curtain and you're just like, oh, you're just an old, frail, large man who doesn't know what he's doing.
It's not a lot of large, frail people, but I think in
Do
his
you know
case,
what I
you're
mean?
absolutely right. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. And you're absolutely right to talk about market manipulation because really, this taco, Trump always chickens out, is just another way of saying buy the dip.
Right.
And because the investors on Wall Street know that, he's going to announce these tariffs and the stock prices of companies are going to go down, and then he's going to roll back the tariffs or say, well, we're not doing that now. And then the stock price of those companies is going to go back up. So we've been hearing the phrase "buy the dip" for a long time now, and this really is that. It's just another way of describing that. So it is, in a sense, it is market manipulation, whether it's intent. Like, I don't know if that's the intent or not. I think there's a lot of people around Trump probably getting rich
Mhm.
because of it. Uh, the thing is, though, but I really do think Trump is a true believer on tariffs. I mean, he's just that stupid. So I don't think I don't think he means it, at least purely, as market manipulation, but in effect that's what it is. And the people around him, the ones who aren't quite as stupid as him, know exactly that that's going to be the effect, and that's why you get these traders coming up with phrases like taco, or I guess in this case it was a Financial Times columnist, Robert Armstrong, who coined the phrase. It basically amounts to the same thing, and what it means, of course, is the rich get richer, because
Mhm.
who are the people who can afford to buy the dip? I'm not going out there and buying the dip. The only people who can afford to do that are the people who are rich in the stock market already, pretty much, or just rich in general. They can go out there and take the chance that maybe the stock prices won't rebound this time, but they can afford to take that chance, and it pays off for them almost every time because, as they say, taco. Trump always chickens out.
But the fact is, I mean, look, we've heard and we've discussed Marjorie Taylor Greene, right?
Yep.
What bought in the dip. Sean Duffy, road rules, our road rules secretary of transportation. He also bought, and it's like, if you're in Trump's inner circle, and this is why I lightly disagree with you, Andy, because I do think that Trump is very aware that he's manipulating the markets. I do think that he also loves the idea that anytime he says something, things can go up or things can go down. Look how, again, I'm the great powerful Oz. Look how powerful I am and look how powerful my words are. But the people that are around him, they know, right, based on who's whispering in his ear at one time or another, like what he's actually going to stick to and what he's not. So it isn't just, I think that it is both the super rich who have, the hundreds of thousands of dollars laying around that they can play around with that isn't tied to, let's say, their 401k or their pensions
Right.
or like their
Right.
retirement. But the ones that are in Trump's inner circle, they know how long he's going to be playing this game for. So it
Yeah.
benefits them the most.
No, I absolutely agree with that. My only point is that Trump is a true believer in tariffs. Like, he legitimately thinks that tariffs are a good idea and that they're going to be good for the American economy, when in fact pretty much every serious economist would say the exact opposite. So that's my only point, is that I don't think he's doing it solely to manipulate the market. Like, I think he really does think these tariffs are a good idea. Someone who doesn't think these tariffs are a good idea, or legal, for that matter, is a panel of judges on the U.S. Court of International Trade, which put a halt on the tariffs that Trump announced on his so-called Liberation Day, back in April. It also blocked another series of tariffs, or another set of tariffs, that Trump had imposed on China, Mexico, and Canada. And the federal court basically just said, "You can't do that. You don't have the authority to do that." What do you think?
I think that, like, if it ends up going to the Supreme Court as everything else has gone, that they'll just continue to give Donald Trump more power, right? Like, the lower courts, to the extent that we've been covering them on As the World Turns, they are always, right, like, trying to hold on to democracy and trying to rebalance, right, our separate branches of government. But Donald Trump, they are like kids in a candy shop right now with sledgehammers, like trying to just smash and grab as much as they possibly can until somebody slaps their hands. And then they're like, "Oh, wait, we can't do that. Oh, we'll just," and then they just wait. They wait until it goes up to their buddies who then say, "Oh yeah, why can't the president do that? He can do whatever he wants. He has entire, full power and full immunity." So it's like, yes, we know that I feel like a majority of the things this administration is doing is illegal if we actually believe in the Constitution. But when it gets up to the Supreme Court, they're like, it's roll the dice with them. So I don't know how long this will actually hold.